That story really is not sort of.
Of course it's important.
Well, it's all who ended up with whom.
All right. The other thing you probably don't know is that my sister went and lived with South America for 6 months.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, what happened was she was going to Michigan, and she met a guy there by the name of Sonny Glasser. And my dad was always interfering with people she went with. Okay? So what happened was that my dad decided that he would break it up by sending her down to live in Uruguay, and she went down there and lived for 6 months. While she was there, she fell in love with some orchestra director or something, I don't know. And after 6 months, he brought her back. But she learned to speak Spanish and Yiddish, I guess, I don't know. The other thing that happened was that Barney, had this business in Washington called Imperial Cleaners.
Which he started in 1923.
Yes. And he started it first in Wellsburg.
Uh-huh.
And then he moved to Washington. When he moved to Washington, he and my uncle weren't very happy because where he opened up the store was just down below one of the Peter Pan stores.
Okay.
So they weren't too friendly. But anyway, then eventually he built that plant behind the store.
Right.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of stores eventually.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have 30, but he had
A few.
7 or 8.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of them.
He did very well, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, I know. I knew the business very well. And the real success was Dave. He had 2 plants. He had one in Canton, Ohio, and he had one in Washington, Pennsylvania. And he beat the union. As a matter of fact, it got so serious that the FBI would follow the trucks.
Huh. So where did your
stories they tell about Barney was this: when Marvin took over the plant, Barney and Rocco used to go to Arizona.
Right.
And they bought a Mina bird.
I know.
But you also know the Mina bird spoke Yiddish.
I do know that. And I know that the Mina bird would talk, and my grandmother would get, it's like stop playing with the ball, She'd throw a sheet over the cage, like shut up already. Yes, that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Very. Yeah.
Anyway, when Marvin took over, Marvin was a gambler.
Yeah.
And,
I think it ran in the family.
Well, not really.
Well, Dave was a gambler.
Yeah, Dave, but Marvin maybe, but his dad was not. Barney didn't gamble.
Right.
My father didn't gamble.
But who knows where,
Anyway, I'll tell you a story about Dave.
Go get him, Benji. Here's Jay.
In Wheeling, they had a nightclub that had a hidden casino upstairs where you could play dice, poker, whatever.
Right.
And Dave used to come down from Wheeling to go to this gambling place. And he'd always pick up my mother and father. And my mother was always annoyed because he would win money, then he'd put it back. But one day, what happened was that he won a couple $1,000. They won $1,100.
Yeah.
And it was on the table.